Before getting into the spoiler warning, alright, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Resident Evil 4 is a game I hold very dear to my heart. And it's really the only Resident Evil I've played, at least to completion. So, when the remake was announced, you can imagine I was very, very excited, And what I'm more excited about is telling you that this remake 100% lives up to the original. I mean, how could it not when they kept this line in the game?
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
But seriously, the Resident Evil 4 remake is just a true love letter to the original game. It's not a one-to-one remake of the original. For example, the Demon's Souls remake is like a one-to-one. If you played the original, you know exactly what it's like to play the remake. It's just the same game with a fresh coat of paint. But the Resident Evil 4 remake is nothing like that. If you've played the original, there's still something new to actually experience here. They've added new mechanics, they've reworked the map layouts, they've changed some of the story beats, they just overall have improved the whole experience. It's just a modernized version of Resident Evil 4. And I guess I should also mention, they got rid of QuickTime events and cutscenes. I'm a big supporter of that, but sorry to you QTE lovers, it's kind of gone now. But I just want to get the boring stuff out of the way, so let's get through the new boring stuff. The first one, did you like the voice acting of the original Merchant?
What's that?
Sorry, he's Australian now, but in a good way. I actually really like the new Merchant's voice actor. It's really good. I think he does a killer job. He still captures the essence of the Merchant. It's just a little bit of a new voice. And don't get me wrong, I miss his iconic voice, but still a lot of the same. He's got some of the same original lines. He doesn't do a bad job. I think it's really good. And he has a new improved shooting range. If you remember in the original, there was a shooting range at some points in the game. They've just kind of overhauled that now. There's a lot more incentives to actually do it instead of just gaining random character models to look at. These will give you these new items in the game called tokens. There's 2 rarities of them, blue and red I think. They're basically using a gacha system, and it gives you charms, which are equipped to your briefcase, which is a whole other new system. You can customize your briefcase now, customize your charms. They'll give you just little benefits that you can mess around with. The briefcase customization, you can get different colored briefcases. They'll give you different benefits, like finding more handgun ammo, finding more of resources, which are also new items, finding specific herbs. And the charms are more minuscule things, but there's also some really big ones. Apparently there's a speed charm you can get. I haven't gotten it yet, but I do want it. It'll give you an 8% boost to your movement speed or something, which is kind of insane. But a lot of it's just kind of you resell ammo and it sells for more. Or when you craft ammo, by the way, also a new mechanic. You craft ammo, you can get more ammo from it at a higher chance or whatever. Or some of it's just discounts from the shop, which is really nice. You can buy new stuff at cheaper prices or upgrade your weapons at cheaper prices. I also mentioned there's these new mechanics and new items and stuff. So let's just kind of touch on those as well. There's the crafting system now. I think it was in the RE2 remake as well, potentially, or the older games, I don't really know. You can get gunpowder, you get resources, you combine them, you make ammo. You can make a couple different things. You make big boy ammo, little boy ammo, you can make grenades, whatever the game pretty much has. Those resources come in big and small, so big boy job, little boy job, they look like this. I'm going to have it on screen, I guess. There are recipes you can buy from the merchant. As you keep going through the game, you'll just get stronger stuff you can craft, basically, but it's going to take more to craft them. Honestly, I really love this new system. It just lets you play the game more of the way you want to play the game. If there's a gun you really like, you can just always keep crafting more ammo for it so you can use it more frequently. I don't think they forgot about treasures either, because this whole treasure system also got a bit of a revamp. It's mainly just a lot of quality of life improvements, making it way easier for players to understand what each item's used for and how long they're useful for. Each treasure that it can be slotted with gems are simplified to 2 different types of gems. You've got round gems that are ovals, and then square gems. And you also get 3 flavors to pick from, so 3 different colors you can mix and match. And there's different bonuses depending on it. If you have a 3 color match, you'll get a certain bonus. If you have all of 1 color matching, then it'll increase the price by some amount. The highest you can get, I think, is on a crown, and it's 100,000 pesetas, or however you say it, and it's having 1 of every color and then all the different gems. And what's that money useful for? Of course, buying and selling and everything with the merchant. So not only does the merchant work exactly the same, where you buy stuff, you sell stuff, and then you also can go ahead and tune your weapons up, there's a whole new trading mechanic now. This trading mechanic uses a different type of currency called Spinal, and then that's mainly through like side quests and stuff you get through the game. I can note those in a second. But the items you get through trading are usually pretty big stuff. It's like high-powered scopes, more unique weapons, briefcases, just like a lot of extra stuff that can help you along the way. And of course, like I said, you have these different side quests. They weren't originally in the game, or at least not every variation of them. You'll find blue papers around. This is something you'd see very early in RE4, where you'd find like a blue paper, and it's like, oh, get rid of all the medallions in this place. And it's basically just a mechanic throughout the entire game now. And shooting the blue medallions isn't the only thing. Some of them are like killing rats randomly, or killing some kind of super mini boss that's in a level somewhere. They're usually not too difficult to get done, the super enemies are, but like shooting the medallions, hunting down some rats or whatever, it's not actually a hard task. They're usually pretty easy, pretty simple. It's just a nice little fun thing you can do while going through the game. But that's all like the new boring stuff I wanted to talk about. You know, it's like the condiments on the sandwich. Let's get into the actual meat and bones of what Resident Evil 4, what this game really is. Playing through RE4 has never felt so satisfying. My favorite new thing about the combat now is the knife. It's had like a complete overhaul, just a genuinely super useful tool past like downing an enemy and just slicing them up. There's a whole parry mechanic now. You can parry incoming attacks and projectiles, which, including but not limited to, axes, pitchforks, tasers, dynamite, hands, and look at this. This shit's crazy. Now you might be thinking, doesn't that make the game too easy? No. No, it doesn't. Because not only does the knife have durability now, which can be upgraded and repaired by the way, the amount of enemies thrown at you in this version of the game is also increased tenfold, which makes these changes feel more like a fair way of combating high-stress situations. So the knife will lose durability very quickly if you rely too heavily on it to escape from things, like using a knife to execute down enemies that are about to become way stronger, or to escape from grabs, will do like huge chunks to its durability. And if you run out of knife, you're pretty much just kind of screwed if you ever get grabbed or anything like that. And speaking of difficulty, this game seems like it's a lot more difficult than the original. Maybe having a fully developed big boy brain makes a game from 2005 a lot easier, but I died more in this remake on standard than I did on my first playthrough of the original RE4 in over a decade. Like, the game can be really unforgiving. Little mistakes snowball into just game overs, basically. But it's never unfair. It's always more just player error and player problem than it is the game being unfair to you. One thing I've noticed is they give you a lot more ammo in this game. You know, it's true in the original they do give you a lot of ammo, but it's more in this version because they throw a lot more enemies at you. And it just helps make things feel more fair. It lets you take on more enemies, let you do more with the combat overall. And you know, the combat allows you to take on hordes of Granados without it feeling unfair. Dark Souls 2. And on the note of Granados, there's also a new variant I want to mention to rival the iconic Chainsaw Man. And it's the Hammer Goat. Look at him spin, look at the man go, let him cook, or maybe not actually, but that's really all I wanted to say on him. I think he's kind of funny. And overall, the combat's just a modernized version of the original RE4. You can move while aiming now, awesome addition, but they still make shooting while standing still like the go-to way of doing stuff. When you move around or look a lot, the spread of the gun widens a bunch, so it's always nice to like stand still, let your crosshair kind of pinpoint a little bit. This wasn't really a thing in the original because everything was just on like a laser sight system, which isn't completely gone. There's a few handguns that can put laser sights on. You can get that through the trading feature now. Rifles, also a little different. They have first person point of views now, which was the same in the original, but you always had a scope. Now they don't have a scope. You have to buy a scope to go in with it. But like my favorite new thing, hands down, is the assault rifle that's hidden away in the castle. It will devour your ammo so fast, but damn, does it feel good to shred things when you want? I mean, like, this was my briefcase before the final boss fight in the game. It's just hours of finding resources and crafting rifle ammo to be blown on one fight. Now, I want to say, this is where I kind of like stopped writing the script for a couple days because I was going and busy with work. But let's move on to a new topic because I don't remember what I was talking about before, and that's the story. If you've played the original, then you basically already know what the story is. All the major beats are there, albeit a little bit different. Some differences here and there. I won't talk too specifically. You know, a lot of the plot is more fleshed out in the original. Gives more character development to people, some more screen time. Cost of some of the goofiness. Is the game not silly? No, it still is. Still plenty of silly in the game. Just a little more seriousness to it. I'd say it's an overall improvement though. You know, like, Ashley actually has a little bit of development. You know, of actually being in fear in the beginning and having banter with Leon towards the end, instead of her just being this whiny character that immediately trusts Leon or whatever. And Luis gets a lot more screen time. You know, he's not just a handsome comedic relief guy, he actually has some story behind him. We get to know his background, how he connects to Ada more, without having to play in, like, the Separate Ways story that was introduced in RE4 after 2005. Like, you had to play the later version. I don't know, I think that's kind of annoying. You could tell it was very rushed. But what the remake basically did was take the Separate Ways story and integrated it directly into the main story of RE4, and, you know, have it actually make sense. It helps give more context and hints towards, like, character connections, like Leon and Ada, as well as Krauser. Basically, the story just kind of makes a lot more sense now. You know, I don't really want to spoil any direct changes here, but there's some stuff that's changed. It's more than just a glow up. It's like actually new stuff to the plot. Yeah. I will spoil some of the goofy lines were removed, like the
"No thanks, bro."
And, you know, Ashley telling Leon to do some overtime, quote unquote, after getting home. It's not to say they aren't referenced though. The after credit scene, for instance, does reference the original after credit scene where Leon, like, tells the I don't remember her name, tells her that she looks cute without her glasses. There's no, like, line for it. She just kind of takes her glasses off, and it's like, oh, haha, like the original. But a lot of the references, like the original jokes, are just found in the new challenge system. There's a whole bunch of new challenges. You can do them. They give you, like, these points. You can buy, like, collectibles with them or something. Like, you can get outfits and weapons and stuff through this after you beat the game and everything. But, it's kind of all I have. Yeah. I was pretty excited to talk about this game, so I did. That's kind of it. That's the video. Like, it's done now. You can leave. Thanks for watching. You know, go play the game yourself or something. I definitely recommend it, but, you know, go do something, like touch grass, I don't know, get a job. Bye.